Welcome back to Reset and Rise, where we help emerging leaders grow with clarity, confidence, and intention. I'm Shirrell Meeks. Today's topic is one that many leaders experience, but few people openly discuss. What do you do when you're selected for a leadership role and someone on your team believes they should have gotten the position instead? Maybe they interviewed for the role. Maybe they've been with the organization longer. Maybe they feel they know more than you. Or maybe they simply don't understand why leadership selected you. If you ever found yourself in that situation, this episode is for you. Today, we're talking about how to handle employees that think they should have been selected instead of you. Now, when this happens, many new leaders immediately feel pressure. They feel pressure to prove themselves, establish authority, demonstrate expertise, convince others they deserve the role. But here's the reality. You don't earn credibility by defending the hiring decision. You earn credibility through how you lead once you're in the role. The goal isn't to convince people you deserve the position. The goal is to help the team succeed. It's important to understand that the employee's disappointment may not actually be about you. Often, they're dealing with frustration, disappointment, embarrassment, uncertainty about their future. Many people attach promotions to validation. When they aren't selected, they begin questioning themselves. That's why one of the first things leaders need to do is avoid taking it personally. Not every negative reaction is an attack. Sometimes it's disappointment being expressed poorly. I remember when I accepted a director of client service role that several senior leaders encouraged me to pursue. At the time, I was actually interviewing for another director role as well. Both opportunities interested me, but they would challenge me in different ways. After a lot of encouragement and discussion, I accepted the client service director position. The organization I was inheriting was in the process of being dissolved. And part of my responsibility would be helping employees navigate that transition while continuing to support our clients. Shortly after the announcement was made, I started receiving messages from members of my new team. Most of them were positive. One was not. The individual made it clear they wanted things to remain the same and implied that they would continue taking care of the team. I hadn't even started yet, and I could already sense resistance. Because of that, I scheduled my first one-on-one meeting with that individual on my very first day. I had asked all of my direct reports to meet me face to face. Everyone did except this person who joined remotely. During our conversation, I focused on learning about them. I asked about the role, their successes, their challenges, and how I could support them. Then they asked the question that was clearly on their mind. Why you and not me? I'll be honest, I had to take a deep breath. I was like, whoa. But instead of becoming defensive, I reminded myself that this wasn't my decision to defend. I explained that the hiring decision wasn't mine, and I asked if they had received feedback from the leaders who interviewed them. They hadn't, so I encouraged them to seek feedback and offered to help them prepare for the future opportunities. The conversation ended respectfully, but I could tell they were still disappointed. I knew one conversation wasn't going to solve everything. Trust isn't built in a day, right? It's built through consistency, so I focus on creating structure. I schedule weekly one-on-ones with all of my direct reports. I created leadership team meetings because they didn't have them previously. I noticed there was a lot of competition among leaders and not enough collaboration. Everyone wanted to be the leader. Few were working together, so I intentionally created opportunities for connection. We held team lunches, team building activities, games, music, opportunities for people to learn more about one another. At the same time, I focus heavily on helping others, employees prepare for future opportunities since the department was dissolving. We worked on resumes, career planning, networking, and identifying opportunities throughout the organization. Over time, the individual who originally challenged my selection began to open up. We started having productive conversations. They sought feedback. We developed a plan together. We even created code words that I could use during meetings to help them become more aware of how their communication style was being perceived by others. Eventually, that relationship transformed. Same person who questioned why I got the role started stopping by my office regularly just to talk. And ultimately, we were able to help them secure another opportunity. So if you're facing a similar situation, here are 4 things I recommend. 1, don't take it personally. Disappointment doesn't automatically equal disrespect. Listen first. Understand what's driving the reaction. 2, respect their experience. You don't need to know everything. In fact, many team members may have expertise you don't have. Learn from them. Leverage their strengths. 3, don't compete with your team. You already have the role. Leadership isn't about proving you're smarter. It's about helping people succeed. 4, let consistency build credibility. Titles create authority. Consistency creates trust. Your communication, your fairness, your follow through, your willingness to support others. Those things matter more than any title. Am I trying to prove myself or lead effectively? Am I listening to understand or reacting emotionally? What can I do to build trust through consistency? Remember, people may not immediately trust your title, but they can learn to trust your actions. One of the most important lessons I've learned is this. When people question your leadership, your first instincts may be to prove yourself. Resist that temptation because credibility isn't built through arguments. It's built through consistency. You don't win people over with your title. You win them over through your actions, your support, and your willingness to invest in their success. If you're navigating leadership growth, workplace confidence, communication challenges, or career transitions, subscribe to Reset and Rise and to continue growing with us. And remember, you always have the power to reset and rise.